Knoxville, we're going to call this beer board meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024. Welcome everyone here and to those watching at home. Mr. Johnson, please call the roll.
Councilman Fugit, Councilman Helsley, Councilwoman McKenzie.
Here.
Councilwoman Parker, Councilman Ryder,
Here.
Councilman Roberto, Councilman Singh, Vice Mayor Smith.
Here.
And Councilman Thomas. 5 members present.
Minutes of the last meeting were distributed by email. Are there any corrections from members of the board? And if there are no corrections, the minutes stands approved as distributed. Okay? Nope, stand, yep. You just give me your corrections. Nope, okay. Mr. Johnson, do we have anyone signed up for public comments germane to today's agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay, seeing as no one signed up for public comment, we're going to move on. The next matters of business are items to be postponed or withdrawn. Mr. Byrd, are there any applicants requesting a postponement?
Yes, ma'am. Item 6I, the Lucky Star Food Market.
Okay, postponement for that. Mr. Byrd, are there anybody requesting a withdrawal?
Yes, ma'am. There are
Oh, when do they need to be postponed to, Lucky Star?
to the August 20th meeting, please.
Okay. And anything with a withdrawal?
Yes, ma'am. There are 4. Item 5A, Crave 865.
Okay.
5B, Honeybee. 5C, another Honeybee. And 5D, World's Fair Exhibition Hall.
Okay. All right, so that's 5A, B, C, and D to be withdrawn. And item 6I? Huh? Yes. Yes. And, yes. 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, are all to be withdrawn. Without objection, those items are withdrawn. Okay, I'm going to say that for the other because I skipped around, I'm sorry. We have one postponement, that's item 6I, postponed to August 20th. Without objection, that is postponed. Okay. Okay. All right. Before we get started, a few announcements. If everyone who's here for their beer permit could please listen. When I call the names of the businesses applying for the permit, please come to the podium. State your name and address clearly into the microphone for the record. You'll need to push the button with the little person on it on the podium. If you get a permit that is approved pending final documentation, this is new to my script here, it means that you have one or more requirements that are incomplete for a beer board permit. So that means you've been approved by beer board, but that's all you've been approved by, and it's pending you getting other documents and requirements taken care of. One thing we've been seeing a lot of hiccups with, and I think we have a handful of people that will be here tonight for that reason, is the certificate of occupancy. If your application does not have your certificate of occupancy completed, I just need you to be aware that that means many things. It may mean that you need zoning changes, meet parking requirements, submit architectural drawings to plans review and inspections, modifications to your zoning, your building, and your codes compliance. It's a large umbrella of things under a innocuous term called certificate of occupancy. This may entail hiring an architect and/or a contractor and submitting plans for your site review. If you have questions about that, Mr. Johnson is here from the building department sitting up front. So if that is you, we want to make sure that you get the help that you need so that you can get your beer permit and get your business in operation. And so just want to put that out there to start with. Applicants that have their beer permit approved tonight and have all of their file is complete, they can pick up their permit at the end of the meeting from Mr. Byrd. Finally, as I'm chairing the meeting, other members will be making motions in the 4th District. So let's get started. We have a long agenda and limited time tonight. We're going to call off agenda items with complete files that have no records and approve those in a block. Mr. Byrd, could you call those and we can vote on them?
Yes, ma'am. There are 4. Item 6B, Big Kahuna Wings Foundation. Item 6F, the First Lutheran Church and School. Item 6G, Knoxville Beverage Company. And finally, item 6P, Traditional Irish Arts of Knoxville.
Okay, Mr. Byrd, I have 6B, 6F, 6G, and 6P.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone from the beer board have any questions for any of those
The
applicants?
attorney does.
Oh, the attorney does. Yes, sir.
Thank you. For 6P, the Irish Festival, I wasn't clear from the plan that those are going to be licensed alcohol servers. Is someone here that can, and not volunteers?
Is there anyone here for 6P? John Lindberg? State your name and address for the record, please. Oh, push the button, the little head person. There you
My
go.
name is John Lindberg, 8912 Wesley Place. The LLC address is 801 Wesley Road.
You have licensed servers serving the alcohol?
Push the button again, just leave it pushed.
That would be me, yeah.
You're licensed?
Are you talking about the application for the permit?
No,
For serving
to
of,
serve alcohol.
I'm not sure if I have a special permit for that, no.
Okay, you need to have a special permit. You need to have a licensed person that sells or handles your beer.
Okay. How does one get that?
Well, you're going to have to hire someone.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mr. Byrd, did you have a comment?
Oh, I was just going to kind of briefly summarize that your volunteers can do things like card people and other functions, but the actual service of the alcohol, the ordinance provides that it not be a volunteer.
Okay.
Officer Presley, do you want to speak to this?
Yes, you can hire someone that has an ABC server. There's actually some companies that do hire, that will provide you just a bartending service. If you just need that for a day, you can look those up online. And ABC can also help you find those people too.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Frost, would be okay to approve that as long as, okay.
have to serve it properly.
Okay, all right. Okay, does any further questions from members of the beer board? Yes, Councilwoman Parker.
Just what's on the floor for us to consider? Is there a motion?
There's not a motion at this moment. So I'm asking if anyone on the beer board has questions about items 6B, F, G, and P. We're considering those all four together. So that's Big Kahuna Wings Foundation, which is a temporary permit for an event. First Lutheran Church and School, which is a temporary permit for an event. Knoxville Beverage Company, which is a file complete for an on-premise,
Manufacturer, distributor.
manufacture, distribute, and Traditional Irish Arts of Knoxville, which is an event permit, temporary. Do you have questions?
Just any reason why we're considering?
Because we have 4 hearings, and we have to try and get things done by 6 o'clock. So it was a suggestion that we could take those ones with file completes and hear them at once. But it's unwinding and not working, so.
Sorry, it didn't seem like this one was complete. I
It did
apologize.
seem that way, but Mr. Frost had a question, so neither here nor there.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Does anyone want to make a motion, or do people have questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay. Any further questions, discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you. Those 4 applicants are approved, and may see Mr. Byrd, you have files complete. Moving back in order, we will go to 6A, B&D Market. Mr. Patel. And if you'll just push the button and turn your microphone back on. It's got the little person. You see it?
Bobby Kumar Patel,
Yes.
BD Market, 4409 Western Avenue.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank-
Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need a copy of the sales tax registration, your certificate of occupancy, approval from the Department of Agriculture, and surrender of the existing beer permit.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the, on this agenda item? Councilwoman Singh?
Just going to approve pending final documentation.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Mr. Patel, have you done an establishment like this before? You've gotten building permits? Okay, I just want to make
Yes,
sure
ma'am.
you're familiar with the processes. All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Okay, next agenda item is 6C Black Dog. Mr. Angelos. Basilios Angelos. Correct my pronunciations if needed.
Address on that is 2419 North Central Street.
Okay, your name for the record?
I'm actually Cody Knoll. I'm a manager on the account. Basilios is one of the owners of the account.
Okay, and you are, though, your name for the record?
Cody Knoll.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know if I just didn't hear you. Okay, Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd,
We would need the certificate of occupancy, health department approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
okay. Do you have any questions about those items?
Nope.
Okay, all right, any questions?
Sir, you're in the process of getting those, I assume?
We are, yes, and we're also the transfer of tenant. That is in review process as well.
Okay, about how long do you think it would take you to get them?
I'm not sure. They said they'd get it to us within this week or next, so hopefully around then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just try the next meeting, in the August meeting.
Yeah.
If I gave you that much time. Okay, I'll move to defer to the August meeting.
Well, no, they're just a first timer, so
Oh,
it'd be
wait a minute.
approved pending
Ah.
final documentation. It's okay. We all have a
You're right.
lot going on
You're right. I
tonight.
thought, man, your record looks really clean. I will approve pending final documentation.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you, sir. I believe you might be right back up here. Agenda item 6D, Black Dog, because that's the manufacturer, correct?
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Byrd?
correct.
Okay. Officer, your name and address for the record. I'm so sorry.
Cody Knoll, 2419 North Central Street.
Okay, Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We would need the certificate of occupancy, health department approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
All right. Turn your mic on.
You heard me.
I heard you, Charlie. I'm worried about the viewers at home. Okay, I got a motion. I heard a second. Any other questions? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. You may leave the podium. Okay, next is 6E, Disha Convenience. Mr. Patel.
Yes, Bobby Kumar Patel. It's Disha Convenience LLC and 5300 Central Avenue Pike.
All right, thank you. Officer
you.
Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the sales tax registration, certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
Okay.
I think I'll move to approve pending final documentation.
Got a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. Okay, next is 6H, Las Fuentes Mexican Restaurant, Fabian Santana. Feel free to correct my pronunciation.
Yeah, my name's Fabian Santana. I'm at 2525 Chapman Highway, and it's for Las Fuentes Mexican Restaurant.
All right,
It used to be a self-proprietor, now it's becoming an LLC.
okay, all right, thank you, sir. Officer Presley?
No record.
Mr. Byrd?
We just need the sales tax registration, LLC articles of organization, certificate of occupancy, and surrender of that existing sole proprietorship permit.
Okay.
I should have everything except a certificate of occupancy, so I'm gonna work on that.
Okay, all right. If you need any help with that, that's what Mr. Johnson is here to answer questions tonight or another time, maybe, depending if you need any help with that.
Sounds good, thank
Okay,
you.
all right. Any questions from Beer Board? Does anybody want to make a motion? I'm not, hold on.
Pardon me. Make a motion to approve pending final documentation.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. 6J is Maris Taqueria. Your name and address for the record?
My name is Raul Mares, and the address is 2008 Cumberland Avenue.
Okay, did I say the name of the business correctly?
Yes.
Okay, well, good luck to me, huh? All right, Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the certificate of occupancy and health department approval, and then a copy of your liquor license when you get that.
Okay, do you have any questions about that?
No, we're working on it, yeah.
All right.
Just waiting for the city to approve the, whatever we submit for the floor plans.
Okay, anyone? Do I have a motion or any
Move to
discussion?
approve pending final documentation.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, One Stop Market, item 6K. Your name and address for the record.
My name is Shazad Jiwani. I'm from Samira 2 LLC, One Stop Market, 2126 Forest Avenue.
Okay, Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the certificate of occupancy and Department of Agriculture approval.
Okay,
Thanks.
Move to approve pending final documentation.
I have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Quick Market. Apesh Patel, item 6L. Yes, sir. Oh, push the button that makes the microphone red. Try it again.
Hello. Alpesh Patel, 7001 Kingston Pike,
All right.
Knoxville.
Thank you. Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the sales tax registration, certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
I'd like to make a motion to approve pending final documentation.
Okay, if there are no further questions or discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. You have any questions of us?
I have the Quick Market 6-2.
Oh, stick around. Name and address for the record, sir.
Okay, 4323 Chapman Highway, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay, and maybe I should say Quick Market number 6, item 6M. Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the sales tax registration, certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
Okay.
Move to approve pending final documentation.
If there are no questions or further discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Do
you.
you have any questions?
No,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Next agenda item 6N, R&S Quick Stop. Mr. Patel. Push the button.
RNS Quick Stop, 4607 Kingston Pike.
Okay. Officer Presley.
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need a copy of the sales tax registration, certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve pending final documentation.
Thank you, Councilman Roberto. Thank you, Councilman Singh. If there are no further questions or discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you, Mr. Patel.
Thank you.
Okay. Next agenda item 6O, Sam's Party. Mr. Katawala.
Yeah, Mitul Khadewala is a 605 James Agee Street.
Okay. Officer Presley?
No record.
Mr. Byrd?
We would need the certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
All right.
Move to approve pending final documentation.
Any further questions or discussion? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposition? Okay, the ayes have it.
Thank
You,
you.
sir. Moving on to the addendum items, 7A, Ian's Market. Mr. Jawani or Mr. Bocani, I don't know. Yes, sir. Push the, yes, a little, yep, you got it. Oh, push it again. Just push it, leave it. Yep.
There you go. Actually, we need permission to maybe postpone it for not the next beer board meeting, but the meeting after that,
Okay, well, let's.
the one in September, please.
Yeah, so you were here because we've approved you in the past.
Yes.
And you guys have not been able to complete your file. You're still missing certificate of occupancy and health department approval. This is District 2. I don't know if Councilman Roberto has any questions.
Thank you, Chair. I guess, how much time do you think you need to be able to, you were saying you needed maybe until September?
Yeah, we got a little snag because of permitting, because, we took down the canopy and stuff like that. So we have all our permits in place. So it all depends on the contractor right now. They said about a month, but I would request 2 months, please.
Okay. What I'm going to do is make a motion to have this heard in the October meeting. And you can, once you have everything put together, you can always turn it in early, and then you don't have to come back.
Sure, that'd be great, yeah.
And then that way it gives you a little extra time, given that, sometimes we don't know what contractor schedules might look like, gives you a little extra time. Is that okay?
Sure,
All
sure.
right, let's do October.
Okay. I have a motion to postpone until the October meeting. I have a second. Sir, could I get you to state your name for the record?
Sorry. I'm Kareem Bogani.
That's all I needed?
That's all, okay, thank you.
Mr. Johnson needs that for the minutes.
Okay.
So we know who we're speaking with.
Sure.
Okay. We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Hopefully we will not see you back in 2 months.
Thank you.
Okay. What? 3 months. 3 months. So sorry. Okay. Woo. 7B, Tienda y Carniceria La Bonita. Angela Soto Hercules. Name and address for the record.
Luis Soto, 4101 Bruin Road.
Thank you, sir. Okay. And sir, you are here because you also are still lacking certificate of occupancy and health approval. You were first approved May 16th of 2023. This is District 5. So can you let us know where you guys are at this point?
Yeah, so we're getting close to being approved through the plans review.
Okay.
So it's like, there's like 1 or 2 more things left
Okay.
for them to respond, and we should be.
All right. You
Good
feel
to
like
go.
you're good with that? If
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson is here to maybe help you if you have any questions? Okay. All right. How much longer do you think? You still haven't gotten your plans reviewed or
No,
approved?
approved.
Or your permits, right?
Right. So I had an architect go through all that stuff, and it's down to like 2 more things, like the bike rack that needs to be on it's simple things.
Simple things. Okay.
So,
Councilman
yeah.
Thomas.
Yes, looks like you're almost there. You've done a lot of work. I'm thinking about maybe extending permit to October. That would give you plenty of time. If you get everything done, you can come in and you won't have to come back.
Yeah.
So I would move to extend the permit to the October meeting.
All right.
There was a second. There's another one.
Oh, did you second? I didn't even hear. Oh, Councilwoman Helsley seconded. Okay, we have a motion to postpone to October and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
thank you.
We
Yes.
hope you wrap it up.
Thank you.
Next is 7C, Tobacco Shop. Gunvatre Patel. Sorry, I probably didn't say your name correctly. Name and address for the record.
Gunvatre Patel, 700 Merchant Drive, Knoxville.
Okay. Sir, you we got first approved in September 19th, 2023. And let us know, let's see, you're still missing sales tax registration, Department of Agriculture, fire and inspections approval maybe. But where are you in the process?
We're almost 97% done.
Okay. Let's see. Councilman Thomas, do you have any questions or you want to make a motion?
No, I'd like to make a motion to extend the permit. I'm going to go to October, and if you get things done, you can turn it in and you won't have to come back. Yes, sir.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir. Good luck. Okay. Next, we'll be moving into the Beer Board administrative hearings. Unless someone wants to keep you here, Mr. Johnson. Our first agenda item is item 8A, Knoxville Ale House. Do we have anyone here from, you'll come up to the podium. And this is an administrative hearing. State your name and address for the record.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Mutos. My address is 9045 Kingston Pike. I'm here with Knoxville Ale House, Inc., doing business as the Carolina Ale House. And I will let our general manager introduce himself as well. He's with me this evening.
Yes, hi. My name is Michael Spina, general manager of Carolina Ale House.
Okay.
9045 Kingston Pike.
All right. Mr. Spinos, are you here local at the local establishment?
I'm sorry?
Do you work at, you said you're the general
Yes, I'm the
manager
general manager,
here
correct,
of the
yes.
Carolina Ale House?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And one of you came from out of town, is that correct?
That would be myself. I came from our home office in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Absolutely.
Okay. So for our beer board here, you guys, let's see. This recent is cited for sale of a minor. It was the second in a 2-year period. We have our options here are to refer to a suspension revocation hearing, take no further action, so no motion, or postpone or defer. Mr. Spinos, I have a question, and I don't see any of my colleagues' lights on right now.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys turned in a remedial plan, and you have quite an elaborate serving plan, as well as details about how to sell product. You can have the nicest, prettiest plan, but that doesn't mean that it is implemented by the staff. So what all training is happening so that your staff knows not to sell to minors?
Well, I had my entire staff go through the MDC alcohol awareness program. Any new hires, every one of my staff has to get certified through them, as on top of our LMU, online programs to get us, so they're all aware of alcohol awareness. Sorry, a little nervous. On top of, what else are we doing? God, we got the IntelliCheck. So there's devices set up at every terminal that IDs need to be scanned. No age discrimination. There's no age gap, 40 or below. Everybody is going to get ID'd. We are in the process of taking the human element out of scanning IDs through another program that will eliminate any kind of error or ever have to be here again to deal with this. It makes sure the ID is scanned on every guest check, and it eliminates the entire human element error of that. On top of, what else are we doing? Oh God, Sorry, nervous.
No, that's okay. So what Mr. Spina is referring to are, all of these programs that we do have in place. And I do believe in the package that we submitted to you. We have I didn't put the entire module in there because it was hundreds of pages, but it's a program that all of our folks who serve alcohol are taught responsible alcohol service, signs of impairedness, of course, how to read an ID or whatnot. As Mr. Spina said, we take all the effort that we can in order to take that human error element out of it. I mean, this young lady this night of this offense did actually look at the ID. She just miscalculated it by a few months. I believe the birth date was December and this happened in June, but it was the proper year. So things like that, we try and do everything that we can to keep that from happening. The other thing that we're doing, and we've done this before, but we've taken it to a different level at this location. So we have another program that we're looking at that's going to go on our TOAST system. We're still vetting the system out to see if it is any improvement over IntelliCheck. IntelliCheck came to us via a recommendation from the state alcohol ABC board. And
The state of Tennessee?
State of Tennessee, yes.
Sure.
And as well as the top shelf programs that they alerted us to, in the past. And so we're taking that extra level to see which one of those two programs is better to try and eliminate any errors or at least increase the accessibility for these iPads to our employees, because we had several, but now we've added another 6 since this incident occurred, hoping that will distribute around the store more.
You've implemented another set, is that what you said?
Correct. We have
Okay.
6 more iPads that we've
6 more.
that we've deployed, or is it 5?
6. And then also on top of everything that he's talking about, we have another program coming in with outside sources that they send their own people in to see if we're actually being compliant with, underage sales. So they'll go in, just normal guests, red card, green card, that we are actually not serving, we are IDing everybody. We are not making this same error ever again. And like all my predecessors before me and putting us in this situation, which is horrible since I've taken over this location. I've changed the culture of this restaurant and I really, truly do care about this. And devoting my own time tomorrow, I'm visiting, I'm not sure if one of you, with community service. I'm going to volunteer my own time to you guys. I'm just doing whatever I can just to change the culture and not have this be an issue going forward.
And
Mr.
the one
Spinas?
other,
Mr. Spinas, when did you start at the store you're referencing?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
When did you start at this location?
January.
Okay, so you weren't there for the first sale,
No,
just for
ma'am.
the second?
No, this is new.
Okay. Councilman Roberta,
and
sorry,
the
I
other- I
cannot
do have
see
one-
when people,
Thank you, Chair.
you should yell at me.
That's okay. What concerns me here is we see that you were cited, or the store was cited. I know you hadn't been there since before January, but the store was cited for a 3rd citation in a 2-year period in August of '22. Then there was an agreed order entered, and you've paid a fine, and you had a 30-day suspension in September of '22. And then in June of '24, you were cited for a second in a 2-year period. And so I absolutely agree with you in your efforts to change the culture, because there's definitely something wrong.
Yes, sir.
And I think your idea about taking the human element out, and I know this beer board has encouraged folks for a long time now to adopt the scanner system so that you take that mathematical problem out of it. The challenge that I have, though, is this is a lot of citations in a short period of time.
Yes.
So I don't feel comfortable taking no action or postponing. So I'm going to make a motion to refer for a hearing and then let the hearing officer talk to you all about that, and you guys can go from there. And I'm glad you're making efforts, and I think you are. But there's just a lot of violations here, and I just can't get past it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Frost, what is the consequence of us taking no action? Can you remind everybody?
Well, it's basically you believe that they have exhibited a plan where they won't get another citation.
And which offense sends them directly to the revocation hearing?
If they received a third violation within a rolling 2-year period, that would automatically get them there.
Thank you.
That's what sent them there in 2022.
Just wanted to refresh your course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Roberto, Councilman Roberto, sorry.
Yes,
I'm
Chair.
Struggling. Call me whatever. When you've made a motion to send it for a revocation hearing, are there any particular directives or anything we want to send to them in reference to their remedial plan?
I think that they do have like you had pointed out, Chair, they have a very thorough plan. My problem is more with the number of citations we've had in a period of time, and I just don't feel comfortable allowing for, the chance that this will happen again. I do think a fine is appropriate here, given the number of citations, but I'll leave it to the discretion of the hearing officer to decide what to do with that review. But that's my thought.
Okay. Officer Presley, I have a question. So, and I don't know if you'll be able to answer it or not, and I'm trying to dig through the report and see. The ID that was presented that was underage, but the server miscalculated, did it have the direction, horizontal, vertical? Like it was denoted as an under 21 ID is my question.
Yes, I have a picture of the ID here, actually. I can
Okay.
show it to you if you'd like to see it.
Okay.
The server that night took the ID. She looked at it and she told me, I didn't scan the ID. I don't.
Oh, you mean afterwards when the
Yes,
citation
when I come
occurred?
in and it was citing her, she told me she looked at the ID, but she didn't physically scan the ID. Now, this is the ID if anybody would like to look at it. It has
Sure.
the red box around it. I don't know how we get the servers to scan the ID, because if she'd have scanned it, even if she just didn't notice the box on the ID, the scanner would have told her she couldn't serve this.
And you guys have the scanner. You said you implemented 6 additional.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the new program that we're
Yeah.
looking at to prevent that from even happening even further.
Yeah.
They have to ring it in per guest check.
Okay.
It's
So I have a question about that
No.
program, just out of curiosity. So will they have to scan it to be able to get a beer? Is that how it will happen?
Correct.
They
They
can't
cannot ring it
dispense
in.
it till they scan an ID?
yes, correct.
Okay.
See, if a server is required, if they see the red box and they're required to scan anything with a red box, then we don't have to worry about the math error. What is slightly concerning is the materials that were turned into us, the beer board, for your remedial plan, were quite a lot about how to upsell and sell people more alcohol. And that's not quite what we're looking for in how not to sell to minors.
So that is the bartender training guide on proper service and providing hospitality.
Okay.
So that, anything that dealt with alcohol service is what we provided to you.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that that was all out there. And
Okay.
the biggest piece of, one of the bigger pieces of this is surely the fact that with Michael being in the location now and a lot more eyes on this on our end, is the accountability of our staff. Michael and whomever might be managing, they will do their best to manage the staff and make sure that they're all doing everything they're supposed to do. So it's unfortunate something like this did happen and has happened in the past, but it's something that we do take extremely seriously.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for this to go to revocation hearing. Oh, Councilwoman McKenzie?
I have a question before we vote, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to ask, I guess when you have shifts come in, is there any type of meeting? Is there a huddle that, you guys talk about this? Or, what does that look like, or if you have one?
every day, twice a day. We have pre-shifts. I go over our daily things and give them the date of to look out for of the, 23rd of 2003, whatever it may be of that day. And just, I beat it in their heads over and over every day. This needs to be done. ID everybody, no exceptions. And, that's besides everything else we go through.
And so do you tell them that, in addition to the date that you give them, that they need to scan every day, that they should scan?
Oh, yes,
scan
ma'am.
IDs every day?
100%.
Yeah, and so it's very unfortunate, something like this when it happens. Because, that means that there's an employee who now has a charge, and alcohol's been served inappropriately. So these are just the ones that we catch. Appreciate all of your efforts and the information that you send in the packet. And again, human error is going to happen. I just think that there's a consequence when it does happen. And it's not just with the employee, but the establishment. So,
It's concerning. So, it's something that I'm
Absolutely.
really,
okay, thank you.
really focusing on.
Okay, you don't, okay. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, no further discussion. All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Will we be given some sort of notice about this? How does this work?
The city law department will file a complaint with my office, and we'll be in communication after that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Mr.
great.
Johnson will be your point of contact.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Next is 8B Garibaldi LLC. Romero is the owner? Yes. Name and address for the record?
Edward Romero, 8520 Houston Pike. And just for the record, I surrendered the beer license.
Okay. Okay. So you've surrendered your permit to Mr. Byrd,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Johnson, or Mr. Frost? Mr. Frost.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Johnson, has the fine been paid by the deadline prescribed by the ordinance?
No, Mr. Frost.
Has a remedial plan been filed?
No.
According to 4-78C1, the only choice is to go to a suspension revocation hearing. Well, true, there is no permit, but they still might, this gentleman might have problems in the future. But I don't think you can avoid your fine by.
So the option for him is to pay the fine,
Right, well,
to avoid the revocation.
4-78 doesn't have an exception for someone who has turned in their business permit, their beer permit. It says, if you don't pay the fine in the prescribed time and you don't file a remedial plan in a prescribed time, they shall go to the hearing.
Mr. Romero, Councilwoman Fugit has a question, but I just want to ask you, so you got the notice, you're aware
Yes, I got the notice.
of the
same day.
citation?
Yes. And I willing to pay. I didn't have the time to pay the fines because I had to move out from the property. So I did surrender. That was on Friday night, 10 o'clock somewhere. They almost
Talking about the
closed it.
citation.
Ah.
What was it, 10 o'clock on a Friday night?
Oh, that was when the citation was made.
Okay.
That's when the mistake was made. So
Okay.
on Monday, I came and surrendered the license. So, and then they served me a week after that. So I haven't had time to pay for the fine, but I will pay.
Councilwoman Fugit.
I just make a motion to send it to the revocation hearing because our ordinance says that's what has to happen.
I will second that. That was my motion, too.
Any further questions or discussion? All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. You'll get a notice from, the law department will file a complaint with Mr. Johnson, and you'll get notice of that.
Okay, well, I still will pay the fine to the end of this week anyways.
Mr. Frost, could I?
I'm not sure how that operates, sir, after it's through here. I'm not involved. Ms. Dyer in the law department, Mr. Johnson here, take the next steps.
He's asking, does he need to pay the fine?
I would wait till, hopefully something can amicably be resolved with the law department.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I'm sorry for that.
That's okay. Just when you get the notice, respond to it, and follow up on it.
Sure will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, our next is 8C Handy Dandy Market. Jamani. And this is a second citation in a 2-year period. Mr. Jamani, your name and address for the record. I'm so sorry.
Sure. My name is Hussein Jamani. The address is 3215 South Haven Road.
Okay. Officer Presley, do you have any comments about the citation, the second one? I thought that might be a better way to start. I don't know if you want to comment on the sale.
No, this was involving the same cadet that we had the ID out for before. This was a sale inside a convenience store there. The young lady behind the counter sold him a individual beer there.
Okay. Mr. Jamani, you've submitted your remedial plan.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And does anybody else on the beer board have any questions? I will point out, this is also this, Miss Council Vice Mayor
We
Smith.
go ahead and finish.
What's
You
that?
were going to point out something, go ahead.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay. Mr. Jamani, I read through your remedial plan. I think it's pretty comprehensive. Council, I'm looking at page 447. I am satisfied with the steps that you're taking. I don't feel like they're superficial. I feel like they're pretty in-depth. And I think there's been consequences for those employees, but more importantly, it looks like you've got a pretty rigorous process going forward. And I think time will tell. Now, this is both of these have been under your ownership, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll pause for a second to see if any of my colleagues have any other questions.
Anyone?
If not, I'll make a motion to take no further action. I guess we don't need that motion, do we?
No, it's,
But,
no, nothing.
I think you've heard so far in the dialogue tonight about how serious this body takes subsequent consequences, and
Sure.
this is under your ownership, so this is under, I'm a frequent shopper, so I'll see you soon, but please, I think you've got a good plan. If you implement it well, you should be in good shape.
We will.
Mr. Jamani, real quick question about the remedial plan guide that's here. One of the things here says, our back office point of sale system requires age verification. When you say back office, I don't know who this is from you. Does that mean near the cash register, or is it somewhere else, further
No,
away?
Back office is already connected to the cash register. They're supposed to
Okay.
they're supposed to check the ID
Yes.
and put the right date of birth. But there's a system where they figure it out, the employees, they figure it out what's the right. Suppose if it's the 21 is the cutoff, to just do a sale, a lot of times they just do the right, they look at the ID, but they don't enter it. And
Okay.
that's like,
So it's not a scanning, they're entering the date?
you have to enter the date.
Right, and they're just entering a generic date to not have to read and translate what they see.
Right.
Okay, I gotcha. So that's an
So it's
employee
not like
issue.
they're not checking the ID. They check the ID, but they take it and it's a human error. And
Sure.
we feel that just to avoid one extra step, they figure it out what's the right number to pass this step. Am I making sense?
Yes, no, I understand, yes.
So instead of entering it, checking the ID, they
Right.
check the ID, but they just enter what is gonna make them not do that extra step, and they'll just go through it.
Right,
That's what we found out.
sure.
Are you able to, sorry.
Vice Mayor Smith.
Are you able to see that reporting so that if they enter the same date over and over, you are? Okay, so there'll be periodic checks of that date and,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's included in here, so thank you.
Wow, okay.
Anything to avoid extra work, I would say. And we take it very seriously, and we have told them, and as you see it in the plan, that
Yeah,
now we're gonna make sure that they're gonna sign it where it says if it happens, they'll lose their job. I mean, we
okay,
cannot take it. It's really serious for anybody who's operating a business.
okay. So Vice Mayor Smith is recommending no action. Well, there's no seconding needed. There's no action, no nothing. So, all right. Moving, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We're going to move on. We have one last, which is 6D. And that is Henna Harbs Market. Is there anyone here from Henna Harbs Market? Nilam Bin Patel. Yes. Name and address for the record.
Yes, my name is Nilam Patel, and my address is 3001 Burnside Street, and my corporation is Henna NC.
Okay, so this is also cited for sale to a minor second in a 2-year period. You've submitted a revised remedial plan. I don't know if anybody from the beer board, Councilman Thomas, do you have any questions?
I do. I have received your remedial plan. There's 10 suggested things on there to do to help overcome the lack of following the guidelines about sales to minor. You've done some of them, but there's others that haven't been done. I see you have required the servers and sellers to ID everyone, regardless of age, or at least you've told them that. Since the citation, you've offered remedial training to your employees. You have a company policy regarding the sales of alcohol to minors. You do have POS software, according to the remedial plan, to electronically check, and you have signage posting. And all those are good things, but also I see where your business is not a Tennessee responsible vendor. Your business hasn't requested underage drinking prevention materials through the Metropolitan Drug Commission. All of your employees haven't received server training cards or training about how to properly check ID. You don't conduct in-house compliance checks, and you don't have an incentive plan for employees for confiscating IDs. So I'm really, really concerned that the remedial plan, although you've taken some steps, there's a lot more that could have been done and can be done.
Yeah, I was sorry for that, but I do train my employees personally, and I tell them we have POC system to make sure you scan the ID before you give anybody beer. And I'm not happy with that. I work myself personally for 7 years. I never have it happen myself. And she's not working over there, but I need it. I have emergency to go home that day. So she show up that day. And I guess I try my best to just get the meeting after this happened. I'm gonna get a more meeting and make sure I train more employees to make sure not give you ID, doesn't matter what happened. Many times happen, people are screaming, yelling to not to give them ID, ask ID over there, and neighborhood like that. It's really tough for me. But I try my best to not happen again.
Well, I do understand that it's difficult. I guess for your information, there have been reports from your neighborhood in Lonsdale that alcohol sales have been to minors out of your business for some time. That's what I've been hearing out of the neighborhood. So.
No, not really. I tell my employees, all of them, not to sell. I don't know where they come without the ID they sell. I'm still gonna talk to my employees again to make sure they're not gonna give you,
Okay.
underage.
Well, I think I understand your situation, and this won't be the last opportunity that you would have, depending on what happens here today, but I think I'm going to suggest this be referred to a suspension revocation hearing. And between now and then, you will have the opportunity to do some of the other things that you haven't been so far, and you can make your case before them. I will make the motion on this one, unfortunately, to suspend or ask for a revocation hearing, and you can make your case to them, and hopefully you will have done more of the things that concern me by the time of the hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay. The ayes have it. You'll get notice from Mr. Johnson from the council office or from the city legal. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, if there's no further business before Beer Board, I believe we are adjourned now.